Yes, Inanna. So today, to the continuation class of last class, we are going to be showcasing how to integrate the database for our application. So today I will show you like how to insert a new record into the table. So that part I will showcase. The retrieval part we'll see in the next class. Okay. So here what I'm trying to do here is very simple example. So the same form whatever we created here, if you remember like last class, the same to the continuation taking, but like instead of that, I'm just taking another form to make it clear understanding for you again. Okay. So I'm just for database integration, and separately I'm taking a new form and where I will start everything. Okay. So for that, what we require to do step by step, I'm going to be explaining. Okay. So for that, so here I will showcase that thing. First thing, if you want to integrate with the database, first of all, you require a database which is installed in your machine. So that is already we have, as we seen previously. If you observe that, so once again, if somebody wants, so as we know, so we are using MySQL client to interact with the MySQL database. So I'm using, and yesterday, like I mean the day before yesterday, we created one database called MyDB1. So that I'm using for this particular application. So admin, and now you can able to check it like once we connected here, so we can go to the what we can say that like use DB. So use MyDB1. I think we created on that day. Okay, unknown database. We can go with only MyDB. No. Okay, in that case, we'll create the database then. Create database and followed by database name. So I'm giving MyDB as a database name. Yeah. So now use MyDB. Okay. Yeah. So database change. So it's having now. So I'm using this MyDB in current application, and the database port number I'm using 3701. Like see, by default the port number is 3306, but in my system I'm using 3307. But by default, if you not change anything, by if you go with the default configuration, you can go with 3306 only. And localhost common, and the username is root, but password for my database is admin. So I'm giving the admin, and name. So just before we created, that is MyDB. So that is the database name. Okay. So first thing, engine will be django.db.backends.mysql. It will be changed as per your database name. Like if it is Oracle, we will use the Oracle name, and if it is Postgres, like that. The remaining structure will be same, but the database name will change. And these are the details will change as per your database. And this structure, first of all, we should create in the settings.py in our application. Okay. So that is the first thing we have to take do that. Like sorry. So our application will be add project as per our understanding. So this is the project. Like under that, we have to go to the settings.py. So go down, you will find a database for structure over here. If you observe this, these are databases. Okay. So this is the default they're giving inbuilt database, but now we have to replace with the component what just I told you, like database with the MySQL. So this is first we need to replace. So this I will share with you in the group so that you can use it for the MySQL. So but this is common. Just you need to change the database name and password and port number. This is as per the system it will change. Remaining all are similar to each other. Okay. So this is the first step we need to do. And the second thing, go to the application. So where you want to store the data into the database, where you will find a file called models.py. So models.py is responsible for communicating with the database what we have in our mission. Okay. So that means whatever the tables we want to create, that we will represent in this particular models only. So the intention of my requirement here is I want to create a simple table where it is consist like name and mobile. Very simple name and mobile I require to create. So for that I'm creating that class my model. So instead of my model, I'm taking a table name like persons. Okay. So class persons and models dot model. Sorry. Yeah, fine. So like class name I'm giving person, so it will treat as a table name also as a person, and then after like it is containing two things. One is full name, another one is mobile number. If you consider the over there, and I'm just make it simple. I'm just taking as a mobile. Okay, so full name and mobile, and where it is having the char field for text to enter and mobile for integer field, that is numbers. So these two fields I'm just giving over here in this particular model. And after model creation, so here first step, as I mentioned, so once again, I'm repeating. So if you want to store some data into the database, if you want to do some communication with the database, first task you need to do is go to the settings.py, where you need to update the databases structure as similar to I'm showing here. So this is the task, first task you need to do whenever you want to do the communication with the database. And the second thing, go to the models.py, where you need to create a class and create the attributes which are nothing but columns of the table, like how many columns you want to declare in the table, that many we have to create here. Okay, and after that, so after completion of this particular two things, you need to run the two commands. So one is make migrations, another one migrate. So these two commands will help you to create the table structure in the DB, and also will allow to do the connection with the database. So first we need to do that part. Okay, so go to the terminal, as we know. So first, as we mentioned, first we need to go to the respective project. So cd add project, yeah, add project, and after that python manage.py. The first command is make migrations, and then make migrate. So these two commands will help you to create the structures what we are creating in the models. Like now it will create a person's table along with the full name and mobile. So that is the ultimate idea of this particular two commands. Yeah. So for the late MySQL client is showing missing. So we'll check it out. Uh, SQL. Oh, sorry, spelling mistake. So I think there is a problem with my mission. One second, I will change the version. But for you people, I don't think so it is required, because for the latest version 3.10 and the upper versions, it might come by default. But we'll check it out. So, but for me, I'm just doing a small modification to overcome this issue. But you people no need to do this one. Okay, yeah, these things. Yeah. So this is what I require to do manually for my application, but for your application it doesn't require. Okay, don't confuse that. So just for execution, I'm changing these changes. Okay. Yeah, fine, Anna. So this is only required for my system. You don't require to do this all things. Okay. Yeah. Now you see. So whatever the model we mentioned that, so it's trying to creating the persons. So now just you need to do the migrate. Now you can able to see the same table in the database which we are opened in the MySQL. Okay, so migrate I'm using. So these two commands will help you to do the such kind of table creation. Okay, see that applying that and creating the types whatever we require. So yeah, it is created all the required tables for our application. Yeah. So now, so now you see under this database, I want to see the really how many tables are created. Okay. So for that there is a command show table. So now you see, if you observe that, so all the these are all the tables I didn't create before that. Just before I show you, it's a only database I created, but tables already created, and that like model name whatever we given person. See, the application, the project name, application add app underscore persons created with that name. So if you describe it, see you can able to see that the two columns what we are expecting. So add app underscore persons. Okay. So now you are able to see that ID is automatically created, that is for primary key, and full name and mobile whatever we given that is came here. If you observe that, see that. So this is the way how we will create a structure, and the beauty of this particular, if you observe that I didn't create the tables manually in the DB, so that is already taken care by the Django itself. Okay, by the command of migrate. So that is the one of the advantage of Django. But if you go for Java .NET, this facility is not there. We need to do the manually structure, and then we have to write the queries to interact with the tables. But in the Django, it will be created automatically whenever you have a new changes or new tables which are incorporated in the models.py. That means if you want to create a new table in the Django, you need not to come to the MySQL and do the creation of the table. You just go to the models.py and create a class which consists of columns, but it should extend to models.model. Then automatically with the same structure, the table will be created when you are executing the command called migrate or make migrations. Okay, so this is first step we completed. So one is table creation. Okay, so now the goal is to insert our data into the table. That means we have to create a form, and we have to write like a common syntax to store the data whatever we entered in the form to the database. So these are all seen on inbuilt methods only, nothing we are writing query wise, everything methods only. That is what somewhat advantage in the Django. And for that, two things we have to do. So one is like in add.html, we have to create such kind of form. I can say that similar form, so that we can able to execute the logic. Okay, so for that we require to, I mean that before that we need to create a forms like to interact with the models.py to the HTML. We require to create a forms.py. That will help you to create the create the bridge between your models.py to add.html. So for that, under the application what you created, create a new Python file and give the name as forms.py. So this is the file we have to externally created, and now we have to add a few contents to interact with the model which we generally just now created. So that is this particular form content. Yeah. So instead of my model, we have to write the persons. Yeah. So from models import persons and Django import, and here also we have to use person. So this is the table what we created, and under that we have full name and mobile only. We remove the number, right? We can remove the number. So full name and mobile, and the labels full name, and it will display as a name. Mobile number will display as a, I want to display as a mobile, means this is will act as a front end components. Okay, front end labels and front end text boxes. Now just nothing to do anything, and you need not to write form dot like a form action equal to or something, input type equal to test, nothing you have to do. Okay, simply we can use this my form wherever we required in the HTML. So for that, simply we can write the like this is what the structure for that. So if you observe here clearly, so see that form method post are given and field set where it is giving the directly form dot as p. So that means as p means all the form components which are mentioned in the forms.py will be created as individual components within the p tags. P tag means paragraph. So as div if you mention within the divs it will create, and we are creating submit button and post. Okay, now final touch up is we have to write the views.py. So that is the code, main code, as we mentioned already, redirecting files or base logic, whatever we want to write for any application. So that we are writing in this particular views.py. Okay, so that is the final step what we have to require to do here. So I'm writing a simple form structure here. So definition my form. So request, as we know, if request dot method equal to post, then I'm reading the my form here. And after that, if form is valid, that means there is no mistakes. Simply I'm writing form dot save. So this form dot save automatically save your all the data into the table what we just now created. Else form equal to empty form I'm creating and return render request. So cs cv form dot html. So instead of cv form, we are writing here add.html. That is the form what we are using here, and here my form. So because we require to import this my form because it's not in the same page, so import it. That's all. So this is all about what our intention to perform here. Okay, and now finally we have to inject this my form as part of our application. Then automatically it will come back, I mean that to open the respect to add.html. That is the idea. So for that, just I'm doing urls.py, and here instead of add I'm giving, so here what the name we given just now, my form. Okay, so that my form you have to provide as part of OpenApp and here also. So this is the change because we require to inject the form here. Okay, so now we can try to run this application to see the output. So for that, as we know, python manage.py run server. Run server. So somewhere it is getting error. What is the add project dot add forms my form add app? Is it right? Right, add app only. Why it is showing the error in views.py? So it's expecting that my form. Yeah. So where it is there, add project from, instead of add project we can give the add app dot forms. So this is the form, right? Yeah. They have the my form. Okay. Right. Yeah. We'll see once again. We'll run this. Yeah, it's executed successfully. So I'm just opening the form which we just now attached to the add.html. Yeah, see that the form is generated. If you observe that the form where the name and mobile and submit, we got it now. So in the name I'm giving Satish, okay. But before that, to confirm you, like, see, I'm trying to selecting the data. So select the star from what is that, add up persons, right? Yeah. So see that empty set is coming. That means there is nothing available as of now. So I'm just trying to inserting some data. Okay. Now submit. So our expectation is to be there in this particular DB, the same record. Yeah. See that now we got it. Satish and 7895 you got it. See that. So this is the approach, the how we will insert the data into the database. So now once again I will show you step by step. In which step, if someone have the doubt, you can raise. I will explain. Otherwise, I'll move to the next step. Okay. So entire steps I'm revising, and even I will share this content also to practice for your purpose. But before that, first step, as I mentioned, whenever you want to insert a data into the database, first you need to connect with the database. For that, go to the settings.py in your project, add the database structure for your configuration. So here engine will be common and username will be common, but name of the database, password and host will be common, port number. These three generally will vary system to system. Database which you are creating, you have to use it, and password which you given at the time of installation, you have to mention that. And this is commonly for everyone, it is 3306, but if you really change it, you can change it. So this is first part you need to take it when you want to communicate with the database, and it is one time activity. Next time in the same project, if you want to do any type of database communication, no need of doing this thing. But remaining all the activities you have to do every time whenever you want to insert a new table and new data. But this will be one time activity. So this one is clear everybody? As if you have any doubt, please ask me. Up to here. That means there's a database part in settings.py. No doubt. If you're unable to speak up, you can even ping in the chat box also, no? But I didn't get any inputs as of now. Okay, done. So next one. Next thing you need to go for models.py. This file is already available in the application which you created. Just you need to add the number of classes which are responsible for tables. So each class is equal to one table, and that table should contain the fields or columns that you have to mention as attributes in the respective class. So this is the second task you need to create. So you need to create the number of models which are equivalent to the number of tables which you want to create in the application. And is it clear as of now? Yeah. So next thing, we have to create a forms.py additionally into the respective application. It will be not there by default. You have to create this file, and after that, under that particular forms.py, you need to add the again a class which is equivalent to the your models. Very simple. So here model form and class meta will be, it's a straight away syntax. Model equal to model name, like which model is just now created, give that, and fields similarly. What are the columns you are giving in the model? You have to map them, and the labels as your requirement. Like if you are not giving this one, these are only acting as a labels. But if you want to change them as a customized name, you can give the labels. So that is all about this one. See, name and mobile we got it right. That are only we call label. And after this completion of this part, you need to go to the HTML where you want to showcase this particular form to enter the data. I mean to say, from where you want to give the option to the customer to enter the data, go to that HTML file and create this form. So here just required to mention the method as post, and this is two things we have to mention. That's all. One is CRS or token, as I mentioned, is mandatory, and the second thing, form dot asp. So this what it will, this line will do means this line will read your forms.py, and what are the fields you mentioned over there, for each field it will create a component in the HTML. That's the meaning of this line. And finally submit button. Once it is done, we have to read this data whatever entered, and we have to store into the database. So for that, the final touch up is views.py. So where you have to write a few lines of code. One is we are checking really the method is coming post or get. So here I'm checking post method, and after that I'm creating an instance for the my form which is coming as a post method, and just I'm checking is valid or not. If it is valid, I'm simply saving the data into the database. For that, this command will be helpful. And finally, I'm redirecting to the same page where I entered the data. So this is the approach how we are following in generally into the what we can say that database insertion. And similarly, we can able to similarly, we can able to retrieve the data and we can delete the data. So that operation delete and retrieval we'll see in the next class. So until that, just go to the project wise and practice the insertion operation. And if you have any doubts, ping me in the chat. I will let you know. But these all the files whatever I created today, I will share with you in the our WhatsApp channel, so that you can go through that and you can ask me any doubts if you have. Okay. So this is all about the concepts what I explained. So if you have any doubt, you can ping me. Otherwise, we can wind up the class.
సార్ డేటాబేస్ ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పినారు కదా సార్ సార్
Yeah, sorry, Nana. Someone is speaking. Hello.
సార్ రూట్ యూజర్ యాక్సెస్
కొంచెం గట్టిగా మాట్లాడనా?
అయినప్పుడు మన డాటా అనేది మనం
హలో.
సార్ సార్ వినబడుతుందా సార్
వినిపిస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు చెప్పనా?
రూట్ యూజర్ ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పారు కదా సార్ డేటాబేస్ లో రూట్ యూజర్ అనేది ఆ రూట్ యూజర్ లో మనకు ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ సపోజ్ మనకు డేటాబేస్ కాకుండా లైనెక్స్ లో మనకు పర్మిషన్స్ అన్ని యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయడానికి యాక్సెస్ తీసుకోవడానికి వీలవుతుంది కదా సార్ సేమ్ డేటాబేస్ లో సేమ్ వర్కౌట్ అవుతుందా
అంటే డేటాబేస్లో రూట్ అనేది మనం ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసే లోకల్ డేటాబేస్కి డిఫాల్ట్గా వచ్చేస్తాయి. బట్ అలా కాకుండా ఆఫీస్లో అయితే పర్మిషన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి మ్యాండేటరీగా. బట్ మన సిస్టమ్కి అవసరం లేదు ఆ పర్మిషన్స్.
ఓకే సార్ థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే. So any other doubts? And as we know, finally you can commit it. That's all.
సార్ మనం ఎడిటర్ని మనం విఎస్ కోడ్ గిట్టంగా చూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా సార్ మీరు పైచామ్ ఎందుకు తీసుకుంటారు
పైథాన్కి స్పెషలైజేషన్ పైచామ్ అంటే విఎస్ కోడ్ ఇస్ కామన్ జనరిక్ అంటాం. అంటే లైక్ మోస్ట్లీ విఎస్ కోడ్ బెస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఫర్ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. లైక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ రియాక్ట్ జేఎస్ అండ్ యాంగులర్ వాటికి విఎస్ బెస్ట్. పైథాన్కి పైచామ్ బెటర్, ఎందుకంటే ఇట్స్ మోస్ట్లీ పైథాన్ రిలేటెడ్ కంటెంట్ అంతా ఫ్లెక్సిబుల్గా ఉంటుంది. బట్ అలానే పైచామే వాడాలి విఎస్ కోడ్ వాడాలని రూల్స్ అయితే లేవు. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ కంఫర్ట్ విఎస్ కోడ్ వీ కెన్ బట్ రూల్స్ అయితే ఏం లేవు. మనకి ఏదైనా ఎనీ ఎడిటర్ జస్ట్ బట్ జనరల్‌గా ఏందంటే ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్‌కి ఏమో అంటే స్క్రిప్టింగ్‌కి ఐ మీన్ టు సే లైక్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ రిలేటెడ్ కంటెంట్‌కి వీఎస్ కోడ్ ఎక్కువ వాడతాం. డాట్‌నెట్‌కి ఆటికి. అండ్ పైథాన్‌కి పైచార్మ్ వాడతాం. అదే జావా అయితే ఎక్లిప్స్ వాడతాం. ఇది కొంచెం స్టాండర్డైజ్డ్. బట్ అలా కాకుండా మీ కన్వీనియంట్ ప్రకారం ఏది వాడతామన్నా వాడొచ్చు. దేర్ ఇస్ నో రూల్స్. ఓకే.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
ఓకే. థాంక్ యూ.